Hi everybody, I'm Cassandra from Craft to Believe After, and welcome to another video. Now friends, I hope you all had a fantastic Christmas. I certainly had a fantastic Christmas. I'm really enjoying my short little vacation from work as well. We're not going anywhere, we're just remaining home, which has been brilliant. I love being home. We did a lot of fun things over the last week, which is the first week I've actually had holidays. I built a puzzle. Now, I bought an Agatha Christie puzzle months and months ago. I'm obsessed with all things Agatha Christie. So I've got about all of the books. I've watched many of the films and adaptations that has been brought out. I have like a coin from the Royal Mint. I've got all sorts of bits and bobs from Agatha Christie, and of course when they brought out the Agatha Christie puzzle, I bought it. It's a 1,000-piece puzzle, and like on the first day of the holidays, over the weekend, just before Christmas actually, I pulled the box out. I started with a puzzle. You know, at first my son said, no, what am I doing? He's not joining in. Puzzle is for nerds. But it only took a few hours, and when I looked again, Jane was right there with me building the puzzle. Jessica put some pieces in. Right at the end, my husband finished off the puzzle as we were watching a movie. So all of us actually enjoyed this puzzle a lot. I didn't think I would. It has been years since I've built a puzzle, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. So I think I will be getting some more puzzles in the future. I know there's although this was an Agatha Christie one, so it covers a lot of her books, there's a Poirot specific puzzle out from the same brand. So I will be buying that one and maybe doing that one over the Easter break. It was so much fun to do. And then, of course, Christmas came. It was fantastic. I posted a photo of my famous trifle on my community tab, thanks to my friend Kelly, who sent me that fantastic happy mail. It was delicious. It was like better than I'd even remembered. And I will actually be making a New Year's trifle as well with the remaining jello. So that was a big hit. In between, of course, a lot of crocheting. Including a new pattern that I'm working on. But let me start with the projects that I completed just slightly before Christmas and what I've done in the meantime. Now, the first thing I completed was using this yarn, 24/7 cotton. This was also part of the happy mail from Kelly. Now, this yarn, you guys, is amazing. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or if you've ever worked with this yarn. It sort of has a braided texture. It doesn't look like your typical yarn, which is loose threads sort of wound tightly together to create a strand. This looks like threads that's been braided. Now, I don't think you'll be able to see it on here. It's brilliant in the sense that this yarn does not split. It was amazing to work with. I loved it. So obviously, being a brown, this color is Cafe au lait. It is a worsted weight yarn, a yarn weight 4, but I used a 2.5 millimeter hook on it. Now, together with this project, apart from it being like a mini yarn review, which it's not even a yarn review, this yarn is amazing. If you've not tried it for amigurumi, it is brilliant to work with. It is really, really fantastic. But with that, my friend Pamela over at Ginger Cat Crochet, she sent me a lovely Christmas card, and with it, she sent me a crochet hook to try, which is the Tulip Etimo Red. And this is my favorite hook size, a 2.5 millimeter. Now, you guys, I am all for the cheap and cheerful. This is literally the only brand name crochet hook that I own. The hooks that I work with are these cheapies. This is what they look like. Can I get it to focus? They are no name. They're just these ergonomic rubber handles. 2.5. I've actually got a whole bunch of them that I bought in South Africa, and this is what I use. Now eventually, because of how I hold it like this, so I'm a what do you call it, a knife holder. I do work through these rubbers, these rubber handles. I don't know if I just grip it very tightly, but anyway, this is why I've got loads and loads of them. Working with the hooks from Crochet Society, the polymer clay hooks, that's actually cured me a bit from gripping the hooks too tightly, because my fingers got really sore. You know, if you grip that polymer clay, which is a hard substance, like if you grip it too hard, it really creates, like my fingers became really painful. So I've sort of learned through using them to grip my hooks a little more gently, so I don't work through these rubber sections as quickly as I used to. But anyway, I got, as I said, this one, Tulip Etimo red. And I must be honest, so I'm super excited to get hooks. I will always love getting new hooks. Like I say, for the most part, I'm all for the cheap and cheerful, so having a brand name hook was really interesting to have. I had zero expectation of this hook being any better or any worse than the hook that I was used to. But you guys, I am here to tell you that there is a difference between hooks. Even with these two. Now let me just put them side by side. Will I be able to manage it? So the heads are not horribly different. The red maybe has a slightly longer top part, and it's slightly shorter in total. But I don't know what this fabric, this metal is, but it was brilliant to work with. It had not a drag, it had a weird resistance and at the same time glide, which I enjoyed. I loved it. It was such a different experience working with this hook. It was amazing. It was really a lot different from my cheap and cheerful yellow one that I've gotten used to using over the last 10 years. I absolutely love it. It's a little flatter where my finger rests, so it is a little flatter there. And this one definitely, there's a size difference. And once I've gotten used to it, it's really, really pleasant to work with. It's very lightweight. I mean, hooks in general are fairly lightweight, but it's even lighter than the yellow hook that I'm used to. It just worked. It worked brilliantly, and I loved it. I used it with this, like I say, it's a worsted weight yarn. I used it with this yarn. This actually suggests probably what, 3 or 3.5 or something, a 4mm. It suggests a 4mm hook. I used a 2.5mm, and this is what I made. Now I actually think Pamela was the one who made this pattern originally, and I just really liked working with it. Now my toys are fairly stiff due to how I stuff them, so they are not floppy, and the reason is I found that over time stuffing do relax, and then your toy becomes a little floppy, especially if it's a toy that's being played with. So I really, almost to the point of overstuff my toys, but they very rarely lose their shape. Now this yarn was a rainbow cotton 8/4, so just a little scarf. Is a fingering weight cotton that I got last year from the Christmas pack. Just made a random little scarf. And then this odd little hat. Now I was at a point, you know, it was sort of almost reaching Christmas, and I thought, I don't really want to crochet a Christmas hat. the pattern comes with a knitted scarf and a knitted hat. So obviously I couldn't do that. Then I thought, I don't want to actually crochet a hat either. And I found these little caps in my snowman kit that I got from Amazon a year or maybe even 2 years ago. I can't even remember, a year ago. And it's this cute, odd little hat that doesn't actually fit this bear, but when I pulled it over his ear, I had such a chuckle. I thought, now this is perfect. This is exactly the type of hat a chubby bear like this would wear. So I really enjoyed this guy. Worked him up, as I said, with this 24/7 cotton line from Line brand. Cafe au lait is the color name. It was an absolute joy to work with this yarn. As always, cotton gives me a really, really nice finish. I loved it. I loved working with this yarn, and I've loved working with this hook. It is currently the only hook I am using because I'm loving it. It just works differently than my cheap and cheerful yellow ones. Anyway, so this was my toy that I made. Of course, I'll put the link to the pattern down below. I think I did buy it on sale just before Christmas. There's a ton of patterns on sale now on Etsy that I've now, over the past few days, I have bought some patterns. But I will link this pattern down below as well. So I cannot recommend this 24/7 cotton highly enough. It is fantastic to work with. I love the fact that there's no splitting at all, due to this interesting structure of the yarn. Brilliant. 10 out of 10 for amigurumi. The next thing I made, and this was after our reveal videos for the Sweet Crochet Christmas that I did with Caroline and Julie. Julie made my rainbow bee pattern. And when I saw that, you know, I don't know anyone who designs patterns, or if you've ever written a pattern and you see someone else make it and it is just so fantastic, and for a moment you think, oh, I've really got to do that pattern, and then you realize, but that is your pattern and someone did such a brilliant job on it that it makes you want to make that toy again. And this is what I felt when I saw Julie's rainbow bee. She did a brilliant job on it. I will link Julie's channel down below. Please go have a look at her. She does fantastic amigurumis. But when I saw her make that bear, the rainbow bear, I knew I had to make the pattern again. So I made my own rainbow bear, and I'll tell you about the yarn that I used. Now, I don't know, I just fell in love with this bear again. He's actually so easy to work up, and what I really liked is that Julie adapted. So I wrote the pattern that the legs are facing slightly inwards. Julie adapted it to have the legs point forward, and it actually gave the bear a different look. It was amazing. But I still like the inward legs. But it was so interesting just with this one adjustment that she did. It looked like she did a completely different pattern, and I loved it. So anyway, I whipped this guy up really, really quickly. I did a little rainbow scarf. I love rainbows. I like this is done in the brighter colors because in the specific yarn I used, I only have the bright colors. But I also like the pastel rainbow, and you'll see this in another project that I'm going to show you just now. So this is my rainbow bee, and for this I used the Friends extra fine merino. It's 100% superwash merino wool. Now I don't use wool for amigurumi. Firstly, it's way too expensive. And it's very, this one specifically, because it's not a like a usual wool. It's a extra fine merino, which is a much softer. It is such a squishy yarn. I wish you could feel it. It is absolutely fantastic. I think it is brilliant for garments, which is what this was supposed to be for. So months and months ago, you guys would know that I bought the No Shades of Grey cardigan crochet along pattern from Hobby. The kit, the whole kit. You got all the yarn, you got the pattern. It was released over a couple of weeks. But But in that thing, you need to do a gajillion different squares. And I did the first section, which was 24 squares of something. A lot of different colors that you use, so a million ends to weave in. Then the second part of the pattern was 48 squares, which was half white and half of a different color. And that just broke my spirit for that garment completely. So I did about half of the 48 squares and I just stopped. I knew for a fact I was never going to finish that cardigan. So I'll do something with the squares that I've done. I'll make it into something else. But I thought I'm going to keep the yarn because I've now got so much of this stuff. I'm going to try it on an amigurumi. And I really like how it turned out. It's super soft. So with this, you can't actually overstuff like I usually like to do. So you can see there's some gaps, you know, it doesn't want to fill up properly because it's so soft, so it stretches the stitches too far apart if you stuff it too much. So it's not quite as stuffed as I probably normally would if I used my cotton, but it turned out super cute. I loved it. So I won't buy this yarn specifically to make amigurumi with. It's not really an amigurumi yarn. It's way too expensive. But seeing as I have a full bag of it, I will be using it for some amigurumis because it's really nice to work with. It's really soft. I really enjoyed it. I think this is a sport weight, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, number 2. It's a sport weight or a fine, 100% wool, 50 grams, 165 meters, blah, blah, blah. You know, all of that type of stuff. You can look it up on the hobby site. I never know anyway what to do with yarn lengths. It doesn't mean anything to me. But what I do know is this works up really nicely. So if you're into garments, perfect yarn to make garments with. Amigurumi, yes, turns out cute, but it won't ever be my first choice. And of course, on this one, I use my new 2.5 millimeter. Yes, I enjoyed it a lot. I love this hook. All right, you guys, on to my last project. And this is a new pattern that I am busy with. It's not Christmas related. It's not even winter related, you guys. It is. And I think it has to do with the lack of sun. We haven't seen the sun for a month, I think now, in Copenhagen. It is awful weather. It is raining, it is miserable, it is cloudy, it is dark, it is dreary. It is everything you can imagine terrible weather to be. This is what we have. 0 sunshine for most of December. So I created this bear. And I will show you, she's actually done in rainbow colors as well. Now, I'm calling her for the moment the sorbet bear because of this ice cream that she's holding. Now, isn't that too cute? Now, look at her little face. Super cute. Little grass skirt. So she is somewhere on an island where it's very, very sunny and nice and warm. She's wearing her little grassy hula skirt. She's eating her lovely ice cream. This one, I think, is strawberry and mint choc chip. Now, just a little interesting tidbit. My favorite ice cream is actually rum and raisin. But it's not a nice color to work up because it's basically 2 browns. But mint choc chip is a close second favorite flavor. So there you have it. Very cute little collar. The collar I did to look like florally. What is the word? Is florally even a word? So to give her like that little flower look, she's got a hula skirt. Now, she is actually, her top is crocheted in pastel rainbow colors. And then she's got this little loose fitting skirt over it. So this was the first version. This was the one that popped into my head. I made her, I wrote down the instructions. Then I, of course, made a second one to see if my instructions would work. And this was the second one I did. She's got these cute little closed like smiling eyes. You can just see she's loving this ice cream that she's eating at the moment. She has a chocolate and banana flavor. Again, the little hula skirt. Again, the rainbow, but this time I just flipped it to have the purple on the top instead of at the bottom. But the exact same colors. I used Rainbow Cotton 86. And currently I'm actually making a third one to test it in a different weight of yarn. I'm using the yarn that I got in my Crochet Society advent calendar because I did not like any of the patterns that was released with that advent calendar. I thought I would love the advent calendar because it had amigurumi in it. I did not like any of the amigurumi patterns, and I'm glad I didn't actually start the crochet along at the beginning of December. I got the advent calendar as a birthday gift. My birthday was on the 6th. Then I was away for work. I only started opening it on the 7th when I was back from my work trip. And by then, you know, they had released like the first toy already. And when the advent calendar started, you could download a photo of all of the toys. So you didn't have the pattern yet, but you could see what all the toys looked like. And I didn't like any of them. I actually preferred the blanket more than the toys, but I would also not do the blanket at all. Those patterns were not for me. Now, I'm sure they are super cute when people work them up. We all have different tastes. They were just not my taste. But the yarns that we got in the advent calendar was brilliant. It's such a variety of colors. And this is what I'm doing. So I'm currently working up another one of these bees using the Crochet Society, the Confection DK. They've got so many colors, and all of them are these nice sort of pastel and browns and whatever. So I will soon show you another bee that I've done in the DK weight. This is in a yarn weight 2, sport weight. Then I've got the one I'm busy with in a DK weight. So it's all just to sort of hash out the pattern a bit, but hopefully I will have that pattern ready, I don't know, sometime in the future. There's no rush on this one. I want to get it as good as possible before I release it. And I've spoken to the lovely person who will be testing my pattern for me. So as soon as I've written it up and my pattern is tested, I will hopefully be able to make it available probably again on my Etsy store. But you guys, that's it for this week. I hope you all had a fantastic Christmas. I hope you did some crocheting. If you did something fun, crochet-wise, amigurumi-wise, let me know. I'm always excited to hear what you guys are doing, what you guys are making. Keep on tagging me on Instagram. I know a lot of you tag me on superb patterns. That's always available, especially the free ones. I love it. Keep on tagging me, keep on emailing me those pattern suggestions. And then some interesting news, you guys. Tomorrow, which is going to be Saturday the 30th of December, I will finally be releasing the video on embroidering these eyes. So a short little video tomorrow will be out showing you how I embroider eyes on my amigurumi. Alright friends, so that's it for this video. I hope you are looking forward to some New Year's celebrations this coming weekend. I hope you've had a good Christmas. I hope you will be having a good New Year. As always, I just love hanging out with you guys. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for just being the best crochet community any person can be a part of. I love spending time with you guys. I love hearing from you. It is just a fun place for me to be and a fun bunch of people to hang out with. You guys are awesome. All right, friends, this is it. Until I see you in the next video, as always, stay safe and stay crafty.